Hello everybody. Of course I forgot to turn on my microphone so my mouth isn't going with my words. Oh dear, a little cement dust. Anyway, Bob says that being how he helped with the cement, I need to show him how to tie a bracelet with skulls on it. So we're going to try that out, see how Bob does. This is our third take or whatever, and Bob pretty much has it down pat now. And let's take a look at Roy there. Hello, Roy. And here's Bob. These are my helpers that help with the cement. Here's that paracord that Bob had, was too thin. I gave him some of my paracord 550 so it matches skulls a little bit better, and I think he's happy with it. He bought that kit at Michael's, and I think he bought 2 kits in order to get enough skulls that he's got on there now. So let's stop here, and my audio's coming back. So brother Bob here, he helped me pour cement, and so now I need to teach him how to make a skeleton bracelet. He's got bigger skeletons for his bracelet, and we've already started this. We've tore it apart, and we're putting it back together again. This time I think we're on track.
Yeah, this is 550 cord. This stuff is 220 cord or something. That's what they sell in the bracelet aisle at Michael's, the craft shop.
So usually most of them bracelets are for the kids and whatnot, and no one knows what they're buying. But that's probably better because the kids' bracelet would be smaller.
I'm surprised they had these in the aisle though. But anyway, we're taking the bottom one and knitting one.
Purl 2.
Oh wait, I gotta move a skull up first. Take the bottom one, knit it. Knit 1, purl 2, around the outhouse, pull her through. Tighten her up.
Tighten her up,
and make 2.
Snug the skeletons up.
And pull that forward. Then take the bottom one, knit 1, purl 2,
when he says
through the outhouse door.
When he says the bottom, he's talking about the one that's pointing out the back. And so far it's coming out pretty good this time. There's a chance we might have to tear the whole thing apart again if things don't work out, but that's normal. Looks like we might be okay. We might have just one too many knots.
And we got
how much is space?
There's a V, 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 and V.
But how many do you have on this end?
Yeah, it's gonna be about right.
Oh, there's not. Okay.
Yeah, looks like it's gonna be about right.
That'll suck in when you do your knot up by
so
it.
Take the lower one over, under, through, knit 1, purl 2, out the outhouse door we go. Yeah, I tried watching your video and my brain got so hurting that I had to text you last night.
Well, I'm more than happy to help you anytime you need it. I just have to study some of these videos first before I come over to help.
Yeah.
It's training your mind to do the same thing over and over again.
Knit 1, purl 2, around the back and through the outhouse door we go.
I don't know if that's something we want in the video, but we're gonna go for it anyway.
Hey, Bob was on it. He's got to be different. And that's the back one, because I can't remember right or left.
So that's why I say you always look for that one that's pointing back and you know where to start or where you left off.
That makes more sense than anything.
Yeah, I've done a lot of struggling trying to get these things down, and you start going, the next thing you know you start going across the top instead of the back or whatever, and it just messes you up. Then you have to tear it all apart again. I've been watching Bob here and had to jump him a couple times because you just have a brain fart, I guess they call it.
That's exactly it. But you haven't had to for a little while.
Nope. Well, that's because I'm videoing now, and so I'm going to have to go back and make sure you did it right.
So I'm grabbing the one that points down. And under and through.
Now, when he says he grabs the one that points down, yes, that's the one you start with, but he's bringing it across the front, and then he takes the other one on the other side, goes over it, behind, and up through the loop you made on the other side.
And after I've done this many of them that many times, I think, any idiot should be able to do that. And not unless you've failed at it at least twice.
Okay, now you can look at that thing, and it's up to you whether you change anything, but see how many wraps you got on there. Do you want to go clear back? What I do right now is it even? Technically speaking, you get one too many. What I'm thinking is finish it.
Right now I'm even.
Okay, what I'm thinking is finish it out and see if you can get two more on there, because two more means if you want to do it right, you need to tear the whole thing apart
and put an extra one here.
That's right. If you have COD.
COPD.
Whatever that is.
OCD.
OCD. See, my letters even messed up when it comes to OCD.
So that was the one that went down and in and through, and that other one was on top, so it's down on the bottom now too. Because now's the time I'm going to get flibber bladed.
If you want, pull them, make them tight, stick them up towards the skeleton to see how many you can actually get in there. Because you want that to be snug against the bracelet or the buckle.
I can probably get one more in there, do you think?
Yep, we go ahead and pull it back and see if you can get more room.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, what am I looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.5. 6. And I guess if I count them from this side though, yeah, I got a half right now. Actually, don't I?
And if you don't want to count that half, don't, because if you have to throw it in, the half's not going to make a difference. So how many?
On this side, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to put 2 more on this side.
How many was on the other side?
6.5.
6. So if you put 5, make 5 only on that.
So basically I had 6 on this side and 4 on this side, so I need to add 1 to this side, which means I've got to unknot the whole thing to do that. And one of the purposes for having a paracord bracelet is to take it apart and use it as cordage.
But normally a beaded one like this, you wouldn't care about using as cordage. You're doing it mainly for decorative purposes.
Well, sure, but But if you're stranded somewhere and you had to, you do have cordage.
There you go.
And it would help to know how to tie it back together before you turned into one of these skeletons. Because you didn't survive.
And also, if you're going to boil these to shrink them, if you boil them, you're kind of ruining the strength of it, and so that's purely for decoration then. If you leave them 100% natural and go ahead and tie them as a bracelet, or make yourself the quick deploy bracelet.
Well, of course, the quick one, they have a pull string kind of a thing where it all comes out fast?
There's a couple of them. Some of them are really twisted up, and some of them are really nice the way they made them, but they're usually bulkier.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, and I was saying, this here is more of a decorative one. But if you had to, you can pull that thing apart. You can fish with it or whatever, with the inner strings. You can, if you have to, tie something up or whatever.
Yeah, because this is one of the many strings that's inside of just one of these. There's, what, 20 of these, I think, inside?
Yeah, I haven't counted, but...
yeah, the better quality ones have more in them.
Yeah. This means we have to tear it down all the way, but the deal is you try to make it a little bit bigger because all those knots and skeletons will thicken it up, and you don't want it so darn tight you can't get it on your wrist. But we found that this here has made it just a little bit too big.
Sure comes apart faster than it went together.
It takes about, depends how often you do them, but this one here should take you approximately 30 minutes maybe for approximately 8.5-inch wrist. So you're pulling it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So now this one must have been in front, since this was the first knot I pulled out on that side.
Yeah, they say it doesn't matter whether you start from your left or start from your right. Once you get the first half knot, then it's only obvious that the one that's pointing to the back is the one you start with thereafter. So again, he picks the one that's pointing to the back, which you can show the camera, just kind of turn it and point at it. This one here is the one that's pointing down to the back, so that's the one that you start with your loop around to the front. So you loop over to the front, take the other one, go over that cord,
And
go in
the back,
in behind, and up through the loop you made to the side. And you always look for that one that's pointing to the back.
I see a V and a V, and then obviously this side has one V. Yeah, it's about now I'm thinking, any idiot should be able to do this. Why couldn't I?
In that blink of an eye you can screw it up, trust me.
Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 of them now. I've got to come up with some stupid song, you know. Oh, that's it, the beer song. Take it down, pass it around.
With the 99 bottles of beer on the wall. That's so old that it's probably disintegrating itself, that song.
Yeah, it's politically incorrect to let school kids sing that on the bus to the
On the field trips?
yeah, field trips. I remember singing it. Bus driver probably started it even.
Just getting kids.
One way to shut you little darlings up.
Yeah, as I say, you get that, keep the attention on the kids doing something besides fighting with each other.
So now I've done that just enough that I can screw up something royally next time I try it.
Or if you do it soon enough, you can watch that video again and be able to do it. Just take
It'll make more sense, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm a touchy-feely, you know, seeing it done, I can't read it and I can't really watch it, but I gotta sit down and do it. And it makes more sense. And that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. I can get a half in yet. And it ain't gonna kill anybody if it don't.
Well,
David probably wouldn't accept it, but he didn't like broken cookies, so he gave them to me. Hey, I love it. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. So now you can snip it, and like I did, leave it a little bit long, so you have room to melt that down to get a bigger ball, so it doesn't want to. And go ahead and show the. Right now, you're showing it how well it's going to fit on your wrist.
Of course, it's a different kind of a clasp.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. It doesn't move around a lot. I don't like something that rolls up and down.
Okay, so show the inside of the bracelet. Not that anyone's going to ever wear it backwards, but it shows how big the heads are. And they should lay right up against your arm so they're not flipping all over the place. And these had big enough holes in them, as you saw, that the 2 center cords were able to go right through the heads, in which you use that inner string to one of the paracords to help get the second string through, paracord string.
And this is a new style clasp I hadn't seen before.
Right.
So how well it's going to hold up, and I don't know. I think if you bump it though, I'm bumping and it may fall. Well, the other one's still holding it, so if you just bump one, maybe it'll be all right. I got to test it out, but this is in case you're talking. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I just love your bracelet.
Bling, bling, bling.
Yeah, what? Oh yes, I guess I do have that on today.
So go ahead and cut it off now and meld it. And they say if you meld it and you burn it and it turns black, it almost doesn't make a difference on this one. But like I say, I do have permanent markers that you can color the end if that white end's sticking out.
And then you remember after you went to 8 feet, you added a little extra and every bit of it's right there. But that helped get the job done. If you're right down to the nubbins, that kind of dictates how much you can put on as well. Okay, so I've got a loose end.
Just be careful not to aim at your cord, except what you're trying to burn, because it will melt a hole into the other ones. You take your lighter and just shove it, or okay.
And I am pushing that to the underside so it's not as well seen. And I don't want anything poking me either, so I'm kind of forming it.
And I usually feel afterwards, and if you feel a bump that's going to poke you, you can hit it lightly with the lighter and then
Or
tap
cut
it with your
a little
finger.
bit too, I think. I think you can just take fingernail clippers and clip off that little nibbit.
Well, the bright side is you can do whatever you want when it's yours.
There you go.
You can name that bracelet. Paracord inside the woods or wherever it is that you need emergency help with, then you start messing with them balls that you heated up on there, melted. You start messing with them, they'll pop out of there finally, and you can take that cord apart.
And the best part is